What's going on, guys? It's Griever back here, bringing you guys the latest behind-the-bar reviews for One Piece. One Piece chapter 952. I apologize because bachelor party, of course, happened this weekend. A weekend-long bachelor party for my good friend. It was a great time. Unfortunately, as we all know, the chapter was a little bit delayed, so even though I got off work early and did have a few hours to spare before I had to head out that Friday afternoon, the chapter was not out, and usually it's out at my time. It usually comes out about 5 a.m., 6 a.m. Friday morning. So I couldn't get to it, guys, and I literally only had time to get back on Sunday. Monday was work, and now I'm home. So a little bit late, but before we have to do more catch up with Dr. Stone episodes and 7 Deadly Sins coming out probably tomorrow, I wanted to make sure I get my One Piece review out. So let's get into this one because I like this chapter. I really like this chapter because it pointed out a factor to me that I have not been keeping up with my regular YouTube watching. All right, like I like to watch Tekken 101, King of Lightning, Joy Boy, Roger's Base. I like to check them all out, and of course, you know, part of the guys in the Discord, Sundown Rider, and them too, right? Keishan Prime and all those guys. But the thing is that I have been slacking on this, and Kawamatsu is a fishman. Yeah. Like, once again, rolling it back for a minute, once again, this is a potential just Zoro mistaking Kawamatsu for a fishman because it makes sense. But, like, as I think Tekken has been saying for a long time, is that there is another race of people. There's the yokai race, the demon race of people from Wano. You have your Tengus and your Onis and your Ogres and your Kappas and your, forget the long-haired one, you know, the crazy girls and stuff like that. You have your water gods, you have your nymphs, you have all that stuff, right? All the classic yokai, in Japanese mythology, right? Your dog demons, your cat demons, that kind of stuff. But Oda's already done the cat and dog demon sort of idea with the minx, so, I mean, either way, fact of the matter is that that's still a potential, but the fact that I personally didn't just go, oh, probably a fishman, right off the bat, and didn't see it, I mean, I'm glad this chapter spoke up about it because I would have lived in blissful ignorance. So I don't know if any of the other major YouTubers or stuff have mentioned it. If they have, then I haven't been keeping up with them far enough, and that's just my fault. But yeah, so that was a big thing. But suffice to say, let's just jump into the actual chapter. Just wanted to get that note out because that was a thing I didn't want to forget mentioning here at the beginning of the review. So this cover serial is not going to interest me too much. Why? Because I'm not really a fan. I'm so done with the Big Mom, like the whole Totland and the remains of that stuff for a while. Don't get me wrong, I'm cool to see like Daifuku and all them in a fight and stuff, and Katakuri and Paraspero and stuff, and Big Mom. I don't mind them being in fights here in Wano, but the whole remains of what was Totland, which was not one of my favorite arcs, just like, nope, okay, let's move on. So this is just going to follow Beijing for a while and stuff, which is okay. In the actual chapter, we jump over to, we're really jumping time skips here, but I don't mind this pacing because I'm just glad that already Zoro is at the Bandit Bridge, he's fighting Kyukimaru, and he's besting him. He's besting him like he would because he beat Killer, you know, even when it was 2-on-1. And we see another form that, another good, I guess, gauge for Zoro's power, or his, at least maybe his observation hockey was involved here, because all of a sudden they're fighting. And they're talking about Shusui, and he's like, give me back Shusui, don't die over one single sword, which is weird because I think Zoro would die for all his swords. He's literally putting his life on the line right now for Shusui. He's trying to get it back for a single sword. Yukimaru is fighting for the same reason. So Zoro's statement's a little odd there, but he's fighting and Yukimaru's being bested. Now this is where Kawamatsu actually shows up. So Kawamatsu, how he got there so fast, you know, like, remember that I was blown away when apparently Dressrosa happened in like a day or 3 days or something. It was no time at all. That entire arc happened in like a few days. I was like, no. The Straw Hats been together for months now. It's like, no, they haven't. You know, so time in manga is strange. Time in Wano has been passing incredibly fast for manga and incredibly fast for the New World in One Piece, the New World Saga. So this right here showcases that Kawamatsu has already arrived there, found Yukimaru. He was probably looking for Yukimaru and stuff like that. Potentially, we won't know the full details of that until probably a later chapter. But he throws a sword like, stop fighting, huzzah! And then Zoro's like, all right, ting, and not sort of like a side glance, but not really looking, like from behind, takes a sword, blocks it, sends it right back at him. And Kawamatsu's like, catch? Oh. Alright then. Good on you, samurai. But why the hell is a samurai and a warrior monk fighting? We should be fighting the enemy, not each other, sort of idea. You guys are fighting with neither one of you with the intent to kill the other. He can tell because, of course, he's a samurai. He's a sumo dude, but he's a samurai. And he's going, yeah, no, this don't make sense. We see Hiyori go like, Kawamatsu and stuff. I can't believe it. And he's like, okay, who are you? And just everything's like, okay, now we're on sort of pause. There was a bit of a mention about Ryuma, of course, being the sword god and stuff, which is, Wano is revered. Of course, this is the national treasure, blah, blah, blah. We already knew this type of information. It's being rehashed, and Yukimaru was just trying to explain his side. After this, we jump away to Onigashima, which is something we don't technically see. We do see two face shots of Kaido and Big Mom. And people are still going to make the parallels here that it's like, maybe they're not actually fighting. Maybe they're doing something else that begins with the letter F. Just saying, right? That has been a huge fan theory for the longest time. That's how, we got Oven Daifuku and Katakuri. That's where they come from, sort of idea. And all that stuff. Here, we're kind of seeing, like they're shaking the island. The roof overhead is shaking. Thump, 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 thump. I think Oda's literally leaving this ambiguous. But this is a surprise, in all honesty, for me, from Oda, because generally speaking, you get your initial clash, we jump away. We don't understand, and sometimes it's even off screen. Aokiji versus Akainu, Shanks versus Kaido, Aokiji versus Akainu, Shanks versus Kaido. Shanks and Whitebeard had one clash. We actually saw that, but notice that a lot of these major combatants, major forces in the One Piece world, we only see at most a clash, and then we jump away. We never see an end result. They're still jumping over to Onigashima and showing stuff. It's just not really shown. So a little better than what I guess I expected. I didn't think we'd jump back to Onigashima, honestly. But what we do get is everyone basically got the hell out of that room. Everybody got out of the dodge. We only see one of the calamities here. We see Queen, who is, everyone's like, we want to get off this island. Queen basically says, don't be cowards, don't be weak, don't be this. And then Queen is trying to find every damn excuse to get off that damn island. He's like, well, I better go check on the prison. Like, you just want to go too, Lord Queen. And Queen ends up, the smiles or whatever they're called, they don't seem to be working, sort of idea. But then they do get this one working from Babanuki and stuff. So he's connected to the Udon prison. He's talking to Babanuki. I'm like, okay, how are they tricking this again? And I didn't even think of it until it was revealed here in the chapter, was Babanuki, of course, right now is being controlled by o-tama. Now, I know people from their thumbnails. I haven't watched anybody's reviews yet. As I said, I was very busy this weekend. But I'm very, very curious to find out whether this can affect a true zone user. Let me explain. Well, I think I just said it all. But if Tama feeds one of her dongo to Chopper, is Chopper controlled? I'm going to go on a limb and say no until shown otherwise. We have seen her control animals and smile users, artificial zones, not real zones. So I'm still on the fence, but I'm going to go, my personal opinion is still going to be that she cannot control someone because people are saying, like, that's the answer to beating Kaido and stuff. I'm going to go out on a limb and say she can't control people like Marco the Phoenix. She can't control Chopper and Sengoku and people like, she can't do that. Okay? She can't control Kaido. She can't control these people, right? I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Tama's abilities, while incredibly useful and powerful, have only so far affected Smile users. And the fact that Babanuki's not totally destroyed here. Like, that should have blown him up. I'm a little disappointed. There's nobody else going to mention this because I didn't see anything in the comment section that Babanuki's alive. Babanuki's entire torso should be obliterated. It should be gone. That was an explosion in your internal body. Hockey be damned. I don't think someone like Babanuki can react in time, has the observation hockey and the armament hockey level to harden his insides before it blows up. I'm confident in saying that. I'm confident to say, Oda, don't, like, you pulled another Pell here. You pulled a Pell ship. Babanuki was straight up capped. And now was just bandaged up. I mean, it works for the plot a little bit here, but I think, as we saw from the scene where, like, Babanuki's going through and talking to Queen, and it's all, like, Queen's a little suspicious, going, well, I can send troops and stuff. She's like, no, sir. Everything's fine. We captured everyone. Prison's back under control. Don't worry about it. Queen's a little hesitant. Everybody else, all the subordinates, are like, yeah, see, Babanuki says everything's fine. Queen's just, you know, so there is that little bit. So if that really doesn't go anywhere, if Queen still shows up, then, or like before they expect that kind of thing, and it's a surprise, and it's, oh shit, then that was a dumb part on Oda. Honestly, that was one part I didn't like about the chapter, that Babanuki is alive, and well, it seems. I don't give how good Chopper is, which we do see also in this chapter, because everyone's praising Chopper, and even Chopper says, like, remember, he's had to deal with, like, Caesar-level shit stuff, right? He doesn't care about this. He sat back like, yeah, actually, that poison wasn't that difficult to reverse, so, I mean, it's fine. I'm like, seriously? Queen the Plague. The whole epithet was being another Caesar sort of idea, like creating poisonous weapons and venomous this and all these, you know, like mustard gas and stuff like that, right? That's another Caesar thing here. That's the whole thing. And it's easily cured by Chopper. Figured out the chemical component, found an antidote, cured. This makes, like, Queen is a fun character, but the epithet is not very well earned for a Yonko commander that is doing it worse than Caesar. That's a little bit, like, I understand Caesar has the fruit to do it, but anyways, we also see Caribou here, who is actually, seems to be on the side. He's rolling with the winning side. He thinks they have a shot at this. He's thinking the riches and stuff. He's like, you'll owe me a favor, but yeah, we got thousands of samurai in here. We freed the prison. We did this. And Raizo's not knowing about Caribou. Is all like, oh, yes, thank you. You know, you have been so helpful and all this stuff, right? So, and we see, we don't see Momonosuke, but we see Luffy has recovered as well. Hirogoro's like, just by bringing in Momonosuke and bringing in Momonosuke's trust, they have trusted Luffy Taro so much and all this stuff. And here's where we get the big reveal. We actually see the other 4 Yakuza bosses. Now, I was corrected to be wrong. I thought Hirogoro was the Yakuza boss of the Flower Capital period, Hirogoro of the Flowers, and there was another 5, hence the 5 regions of Wano. I'm not including Onigashima. But this technically showcases that there's more, but I might have read the map wrong. I believe that the Flower Capital is separate, and there's 5 other regions. Am I thinking wrong in saying that? I didn't look at the map before I did this, but suffice to say, clearly, it's irrelevant because there are 4 Yakuza bosses outside of Hirogoro, so that makes 5, and they all seem to vastly respect him in this. So we're going to jump into that right now. So to not sound like an idiot for saying those things previously and for the rest of this chapter review, I did actually go and not only read the remaining half of the chapter, but also looked up what I thought was correct. And it is, there are 5 Yakuza bosses plus Hirogoro. That was stated. I believe it's chapter 935. And basically, we don't know if Hirogoro was the leader of the Kuri region and just commanded respects, or he was the leader of the Flower Capital. It's left a little ambiguous and no direct. He was the Yakuza boss of the Flower Capital. He just had dealings. Similar right now to the current Yakuza, who are doing like Kiroshiro, who's in charge of that and doing dealings in the Flower Capital. Clearly there's one boss missing. Whether that boss was killed and it's part of the Kiroshiro is now the current head or something like that, or there's just so much we could go into right now. I'm not going to go into it all here, but suffice to say, I was right. There is a boss missing. The boss of the Curry region, if you accept Hirogoro of the Flowers, was the leader of the Flower Capital. That kind of rolls off the tongue a little easier, and it would make a lot more sense, being the head honcho in the head city, right? So there is a member missing, whether killed, whether betrayed, whether whatever. Speculate down below. That being said, we get over here, we see the designs. I think they're all cool. They treat Hirogoro like he is their boss. Even though they are all commanding bosses, he treats them like, they're good friends and stuff, or equals. They treat him like he's the boss, and they don't take nothing. Like Luffy coming up and be like, wow, interesting characters. You are sure are popular, Gramps. And they take Gramps, calling Hirogoro the Flowers, calling Lord Hirogoro the boss. Gramps? Bite off his nails, chew on his ear, rip out his lungs. Like, they want to cut off all Luffy's fingers, for God's sake. So they don't get along very well. Hirogoro's just like, whoa, 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 cut it out, cut it out, cut it out. It's fine, you know. He saved my life. He's good. He's solid. But they're going to go around, they're going to collect everyone from Udon, but it sounds like they're going to go collect all the remaining samurai throughout the country. So they're not only just staying in Udon, they're going to go to the four corners. They're going to go back to their places. They're going to rally everyone to their cause, right? So that's really cool. We also see here, we jump over to Kinemon and stuff because Riser says, I got now something to report to Kinemon. Kinemon basically, Shutamaru had the blueprints to Onigashima. Perfect. That's where that sums up. Because this seems to be more of a preparation dialogue. There's a lot of dialogue, but I didn't see anything that struck me as necessarily odd. It was more like a wrap-up, characters communicating what's been going on. Like we as the reader know, but they don't know. So they're simply communicating, saying, yeah, we got Hirogoro, we released Kawamatsu, we got 3,500 dudes just waiting here. The problem is we need swords. Kinemon's like, alright, gotta figure out the sword issue, moving on. This is where, and of course it's going to be Gyukimaru, right? That's going to be the connection there. Kawamatsu's with them and all that stuff. And part of the chapter, we get Kawamatsu and Hiyori having a nice moment on the bridge. We jump back over to that scene, right? And he's saying, like, I'm so sorry, like, I left you and stuff, but you were wasting away and all these things. It's like, I'm just so glad you're alive and stuff. And Kawamatsu actually says, I've gotten quite fat and stuff. So clearly Kawamatsu at one point was probably a more, like, vigorous, like, stature sort of idea, right? He's like, I've gotten quite fat in the time we've been apart sort of idea, but I'm just so glad you're safe, all this stuff. Hirogoro, well, not Hirogoro, but Zoro here is just kind of like, okay, what's going on pretty much? Like, he's just kind of sitting back, figuring everything out. Meanwhile, Gyukimaru, he gets damn well shot, and there's these bandit people that come up, and they're like, boom, 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 and they're like, Gyukimaru, you stole all our weapons. We're going to take you out now, sort of idea. We have the power of guns and stuff. Kawamatsu and Zoro, they work together. They're just like, alright, observation hockey, forget this. Kawamatsu does something crazy. I didn't see Zoro attack, but they seem to, like, give each other an eye, like, yeah, you got this, I got that, sort of idea, right? I tried to look at the panel a few more times, and I didn't really see Zoro do very much there, so maybe it was just like, okay, wait, you want your turn, I'll back off, like, they read each other's movements, sort of idea, so there's some respect there. Now, Gyukimaru seems to be, like, limping away or something. He seems to be turning tail right there across the bridge. And this is where he also says, like, something along the lines of, Lord Kawamatsu, I'm so glad that you're alive. And he's crying. But why is he running away? I don't understand. Does he not trust, like, did he betray him? Is this sort of like a shame, a regret? I don't know the connection yet. But suffice to say, a lot of people are saying that this is where they're going to get the swords. He's been stealing swords for a long time. Gyukimaru's going to have swords up the yin-yang, and I mean, they're Wano swords, so I mean, they're probably, I mean, let's be honest here, more than half of what he's got are Mato-grade swords. They're just Mato. He's got Matos for days. Mato for days, right? So, that's the end of the chapter. I liked it. I thought it was really cool. As I said, the Babanuki stuff kind of threw me a little bit. But all the good stuff that happened in this chapter, like the 4 Yakuza bosses, solid. The whole, we actually got a little bit of Kaido, Big Mom. We might actually see them in a little bit of a clash. But as I said, if they might be fighting, but they might be doing the other thing with the begins with an F. So who knows? And then we see like more Zoro. And I've missed Zoro. You have to understand, guys, I like Zoro more than Sanji. I don't care what you want to do for the power scaling. I like Zoro more. And I haven't seen Zoro for over an arc. It's been a very long time. So, and even in this Wano arc, we've seen Zoro, but we don't see him all the time, right? There's chapters and chapters that we don't see him, or even if we do, he's not doing very much. So I'm there. I want to see some more Zoro. I want to see what the reactions are going to be. I'm going to want to see if he gets a sword upgrade, if he learns some. In the same way that Luffy's learning new forms of armament hockey, he's going to probably learn about infusing the black blades, how to do what Ryuma did to Shusui, something like that. Maybe some history on Mato grades. Maybe some history on. Everyone's saying there's the Nidai Kateksu and the Shodai Kateksu and all that stuff. Maybe he'll get something completely different. Maybe he'll get the Kusanagi that we don't even know. Where's the Kusanagi blade? You can't tell me that Oda's not going to play that as one of the 12 great supreme grade swords, right? Kusanagi's there. It's there somewhere, ladies and gentlemen. At least that's what I believe. So Orochi's probably got to cut off that fourth tail and pull it out, Zoro. I'm waiting for it. So, or in this case, probably the fourth head, blah, 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 blah. Look up the history of that, guys. Anyways, that's the end of the review, end of the chapter. What do you guys all think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Please like, subscribe, comment. As always, it's always very much appreciated. I don't expect to get very many views on this video in particular because it is 3-4 days late, and I don't really get much One Piece reveling view content anyways. But nonetheless, wanted to get it out for you guys. The next one, of course, will be on time, I hope. And stay tuned for other content. Stay tuned for, as I said, other One Piece chapters. I've got Dr. Stone episode coming out probably on Wednesday, that review for last week's episode. Seven Deadly Sins did drop, the Raws dropped today, so hopefully I'll have the chapter, it'll be translated tomorrow, and that review will be on time. So just stay for, be ready for new content, guys. There will be more regular content once again. With the wife being down and the bachelor party literally 3 days later after she left and stuff, there's a lot going on in this lovely month of August for me. But this has been Griever. See you next time. Drink responsibly. I forget how I end these now. Bye.